Former Republican presidential candidate is among those sounding the alarm. Former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty, who is now the head of a major financial trade association, wrote a letter to Congress urging them to raise the debt ceiling and end the standoff. Pawlenty writes, quote, "It is critical for the U.S. government to not default on its fiscal obligations. It's time for our political leaders to come together to act in the country's best interests. We believe that our nation's economic future hinges upon the ability to reach an agreement." And Mr. Pawlenty is joining me now to talk about this more. Welcome, Governor. It's good to see you again.
It's great to be here, Jake. Thanks.
So you talk to Republicans on the Hill, I imagine, quite a bit?
Talked to a lot of people on the Hill quite a bit.
Okay. How concerned are you that we're going to hit this cliff, that we are not going to make this deadline?
Well, it's a real concern. If you look at Congress, unfortunately, it's become a Congress that only acts in a crisis. So now we have a real deadline with potentially, cataclysmic consequences if they don't act. So when everybody's backs up against the wall, we hope and believe they will act. But they are so dug in, there's some chance they could stumble into a default. We don't want that, and I hope that they'll find a solution.
Now, there are a number of conservatives out there who say this is a manufactured crisis, that the government will continue to take in money from revenue, from taxes, even after the deadline. Explain why they're wrong.
Well, I think they're arguing about sequencing payments and the number of things that the Treasury says in response to that. We don't have the system set up to do it that way. In some cases, we don't have the legal authority to do it that way. And they're also saying eventually, even if you sequence the payments...
Payments to the debt, to pay down the debt.
Right. They're saying we wouldn't default on everything all at once. You could pay the most important things first and then so on. But eventually, there isn't enough money to pay all the bills. And the United States of America shouldn't dine and dash. These are commitments that were made in the past. The bills are now due, and you got to pay them. And we should not be the leading nation in the world and say we can't pay all our bills.
Now, to be fair, when you ran for president in 2011, you said, quote, that you hope and pray and believe Congress should not raise the debt ceiling. Where were you coming from there, and why have you changed your mind?
Yeah, when that statement was made, of course, the so-called extraordinary measures hadn't yet been taken. In other words, there was a number of things the Treasury could do administratively in advance of a default to buy time for further negotiations and discussions. Secretary Lew is now saying all of those measures, those extraordinary measures, have been exhausted, and the day of reckoning is now here.
So you're a Republican, and I know you're a loyal Republican, but I have to say, it's House Republicans who are saying that they are demanding some concessions from the administration before they agree to raise the debt ceiling. Do you think that's responsible?
Well, if you look at the debt ceiling and the so-called continuing resolution, they're now merging in time into one negotiation, it seems. The president has said he will not negotiate on the debt ceiling, but since these both have merged, he could negotiate on the continuing resolution. And by the way, there's an ample history for presidents and Congresses doing that. It's not a new thing. And there's enough bipartisan consensus on a few issues where you could probably cobble together a deal, Jake. For example, there's enough Republicans and some Democrats who would find putting Keystone in play attractive. There's enough who might find tax reform attractive, more pro-growth, pro-investment tax reform. There's some who might find the medical device tax, reducing it or eliminating, attractive. So those are the kinds of things where reasonable people could say, all right, we'll sweeten the pot and get the dang thing done.
I hear what you're saying, but the president's position is we're talking about funding the government and we're talking about agreeing to pay the bills that Congress has already racked up. There's no Democratic concession being made here. This is just things, these are just agreements, just measures to keep the United States functioning.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point as it relates to the debt ceiling, which is the ceiling needs to be raised to address spending decisions that have been made in the past. In other words, you don't get to dine and dash. But when it comes to the budget, the so-called continuing resolution, whether it should go up or down or stay the same or continue or not, that's a place where these two sides have a legitimate difference and a legitimate fight. So it's okay, I think, to compromise with respect to the CR.
Perhaps the House should have sent conferees to work on the Senate budget they passed in March. But we can talk. We don't have enough time to talk about that right now. Thank you so much, former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty.